stop whatever you're doing, because the footage you're about to hear about just hijacked the entire internet. Blueface finally had his big homecoming moment, a red carpet ego massage built to worship him, and guess who strolled in looking like the main character the universe forgot to cast? Karlissa? Not Blueface's mom, no, Karlissa, the woman who walked in dressed so viciously flawless that even the Kardashians would have quietly packed their contour kits and fled the scene. Cameras didn't pan to Blueface. They drifted toward her like they suddenly discovered gravity works different around icons. And here's the part that the blogs tried to suppress. As she glided through that entrance, every sparkly contour and perfectly calculated stitch screamed that she knew something they didn't. Her smile. Too calm. Her walk. Too lethal. Her outfit. Too intentional. People swear it was subtle shade, silent dominance, fashion-coded warfare, and baby. The crowd felt it. When I say everyone started whispering, I mean this homecoming turned into a runway roast, a silent clapback, and a conspiracy meltdown all at once. Because the secret slipped out the moment she stepped in. Karlissa didn't just put that shit on. She came to own the night. The story really begins long before the cameras started rolling at Blueface's homecoming. It starts with the whispers, the rumor threads, the blink twice if you caught that TikTok edits, and the screenshots of Karlissa in boutiques that normal people wouldn't even dare to walk past. Because let's be honest, this wasn't a random pull-up. This wasn't mom stops by to show support. This was a plotted, calculated appearance that had the same energy as Beyoncé dropping a surprise album at midnight. It was silent chaos dressed in designer stitching. People online swear they saw this coming weeks before the event. Anonymous sources kept hinting that Karlissa was on a mission to show up to something looking dangerous. And dangerous she was. Not dangerous in the could throw hands kind of way, dangerous like she knew her presence alone could choke the air out of the room. The kind of danger that had stylists sweating, influencers praying their outfits wouldn't get compared to hers, and bloggers hovering like vultures waiting to catch her slip. Spoiler alert, she didn't slip. Blueface's homecoming was supposed to be the Sun celebration storyline. His return, his spotlight, his moment to reclaim relevance after months of public chaos, relationship dumpster fires, and internet theories that spiraled faster than a Zeus Network reunion episode. But the second Karlissa stepped out of that car, the energy flipped like someone hit a factory reset button on reality. Photographers stopped focusing on whoever they were snapping. Security guards froze like NPCs. Guests turned their heads so fast they risked a chiropractor appointment. And the irony, nobody expected her to be the one to dominate. The narrative leading up to the event made it sound like she was going to stay low-key, keep it polite, do that supportive mother in the back row aesthetic. Yeah, that aged like milk. Because instead, she pulled up in a fit that made even her critics say, oh, she knew exactly what she was doing. It wasn't loud. It wasn't tacky. It wasn't the kind of flashy flex desperate people try when they want attention. It was smarter, minimal, polished, curated. The kind of outfit that doesn't scream look at me, but painfully forces you to anyway. Every detail whispered, I don't need to speak. I just let the outfit talk. Her walk into that venue had this poetic audacity, chin up, posture clean, stride steady, like she was gliding across invisible marble. And let's be serious, no one shows up that put together by accident. That type of styling takes intention, planning, wardrobe consultants, and knowing full well that every camera in the room will zoom in and pick apart every square pixel. She came prepared for judgment because she expected to win it. And that's where the tension begins. Because the internet instantly split itself into factions. One side said Karlissa was shading somebody. Another side insisted she was silently reclaiming power. A third side was convinced she wanted to remind Blueface, and everyone watching, that the root of his royalty is her bloodline. When she stepped into that building, she wasn't a plus one. She wasn't a background relative. She was the storyline. Comments started rolling in before she even made it past the doors. Why does she look like the star? Since when did Blueface's mom turn into a Vogue cover model? I swear she wore that outfit as a message TikTok detectives zoomed in on fabrics. Twitter warriors decoded the symbolism in her color choices. Facebook antis posted "You'll see what I see," like they uncovered a national scandal. Even Instagram fashion pages reposted her clips like she had just reinvented the standard for mom at the event etiquette. The most viral theory: that Karlissa intentionally dressed in a way that made it impossible not to compare her to someone else. Because the moment she popped out, comments mentioning Christian, Blueface's ex, started flooding timelines at record speed. Fans acting like FBI agents were saying, "She pulled up to send a message. This is what elegance looks like." Whether true or not, the narrative spread faster than reality could keep up. And once a rumor in celebrity culture snowballs, it only needs two things: a screenshot and imagination. People also pointed out how comfortable she looked, almost too comfortable. No nerves, no awkwardness, no "don't film me" attitude. Instead, she moved like she was the one being welcomed home, like the venue existed solely to frame her in perfect lighting. Conspiracy buffs swore that her confidence came from knowing secrets that could flip the whole event upside down. Nothing exposes hidden truths like a woman who walks into a public place with the calmness of someone holding all the receipts. Inside the venue, conversation circles reportedly hushed down when she passed by. You know that social silence that hits when everyone pretends they weren't talking about someone 2 seconds before they appeared. That's exactly the aura. Even the most uninterested guests found themselves sneaking glances. Because the outfit was a statement and the silence behind it was a thesis, blogs obsessed over one specific detail: her jewelry. It wasn't overdone. No bling avalanche, no oversized chains. Just clean pieces, perfectly aligned, saying "I don't have to scream for status. I just have it." Fashion analysts online even claimed her accessories were intentional shade against all the chaos her family narrative had been clowned for. Nothing says "I'm doing just fine" like showing up looking like you never even blinked at the drama. But the deeper controversy hit when clips surfaced of Karlissa exchanging brief, knowing looks with Blueface himself. Not dramatic, not emotional. Just the kind of micro-expression that has internet detectives building entire timelines. Was it tension, pride, distance, victory? No one knew, and that mystery only poured gasoline on the fire. And that's where the real buzz began, the unspoken dynamic. Because no matter what anyone thinks about the past, the lawsuits, the social media explosions, or the interviews that aged like expired yogurt, one universal truth was undeniable on this night. Karlissa looked like she belonged exactly where she was. The mother of the headliner, stepping in like she wrote the plot before the cameras arrived. The more footage spread, the more people started questioning whether this homecoming was symbolic. Was it Blueface's moment? Or her emergence? Did she pull up to support her son? Or reclaim her place in a narrative that tried to bury her under drama headlines? Because the public loves a comeback story, but they love a silent power shift even more. Observers circled back to her composure. The way she never chased the camera, yet every lens kept finding her anyway. The way she didn't react to whispers, because she moved like someone who already knew which character she represented, and it wasn't the supporting cast. Sarcasm crawled through comment sections as fans joked that Blueface should have handed her the microphone. She served more look and more storyline than anyone on the roster, one post wrote. And honestly, it didn't even feel exaggerated. The most telling moment of all, Blueface's reaction. Cameras caught him glancing her way more than once, giving this subtle half nod that the internet immediately turned into a meme. Some said it looked like acknowledgement. Others claimed it was embarrassment. A few swore it was respect. Nobody agreed on the meaning, but everyone agreed on the impact. Because even he couldn't pretend that his mom's entrance didn't hijack his spotlight. At the end of that first hour, headlines were already forming. Articles weren't reporting on Blueface's homecoming performance, guest list, or speeches. They were analyzing Karlissa's outfit like it was a political statement. The woman came dressed like the thesis of a sermon. Calm tone, sharp message, zero apology. And whether intentional or incidental, the truth hung heavy over the crowd like a chandelier ready to drop. Blueface may have hosted the night. But Karlissa owned the narrative the second she showed up. By the time the first wave of clips finished circulating, the internet had fully transformed Blueface's homecoming into Karlissa's coronation ceremony. And that's when the escalation began. Not politely, not gradually. It exploded like someone tossed a lit match into a firework factory. Gossip pages started spoon-feeding tension to millions of eyeballs, and celebrity voices chimed in like court jurors debating a verdict that no one ever demanded but everyone wanted to deliver. The memes struck first. Screenshots of her stride, slow-motion edits of her entrance, reaction compilations that made her appear almost mythic. The most viral caption said, "Karlissa walked in like she bought the venue and rented her son for the night." Another one said, "Blueface who? It's Karlissa's homecoming now." Overnight, people were editing side-by-side comparisons. Karlissa at Blueface's event versus high-fashion runway models. And disturbingly, she was winning the comparison in most comment threads. The internet doesn't hand out compliments for free. When they admit someone ate, they mean the plate is licked clean. Celebrities began subtweeting because nothing feeds Hollywood's hunger like a new social earthquake. A well-known influencer reposted her entrance clip and wrote, "When you're the main character and everybody else is just fighting for supporting roles," rap blogs insinuated that Karlissa was keeping the industry on its toes. Even D-list reality stars tried attaching their names to the moment, claiming they foresaw this shift as if they were pop culture prophets sent from the clouds. Suddenly, everyone wanted credit for predicting Karlissa would come out draped like royalty. And then came the theories that made the night go from dramatic to downright cinematic. People started analyzing every angle of her look, slowing down clips frame by frame. Her outfit color, allegedly symbolic. Her hairstyle, possibly a nod to past interviews. The jewelry placement. Internet detectives swore it was a message aimed at those who doubted her. And when you add conspiracy seasoning to a public event, the recipe becomes addictive chaos. You couldn't scroll without seeing someone rewrite the story. She's reclaiming the narrative. She's flipping the public perception. She's asserting her influence. She's proving elegance beats drama every time. Comment sections read like courtroom transcripts, stuffed with sarcasm, passion, and a whole lot of self-appointed fashion analysts. And the more people speculated, the louder the storyline roared. But here's where the twist hit like a runaway train. Paparazzi footage leaked of guests reacting to her appearance. Two women angled their heads, staring her down like they were trying to decode hieroglyphics. A group of men paused their conversation mid-sentence when she passed. A stylist there for another attendee, who thought no camera could see them, mouthed the words, "She looks expensive." Blueface didn't get reactions half as intense as that. And when the main act draws less commentary than the mother figure, you know the spotlight has chosen its favorite. Then came the controversy gatekeepers, those dramatic commentators who live to stir tension. They started chewing on a different angle. Did she overshadow Blueface intentionally? Videos dissected the timeline like a political scandal. They replayed his entrance side by side with hers, comparing crowd noise, reactions, lighting angles, and attention span. Dark humor memes declared that Blueface was a guest at his own homecoming and that Karlissa hit the carpet like the headline performer. Celebrity opinions got even messier as interview clips resurfaced. People took old quotes, layered them with new footage, and invented entire conspiracy narratives around family history, hidden grudges, and karmic revenge arcs. This wasn't a fashion moment, one viral comment claimed. It was a silent statement, another viewer wrote. Her outfit was calmer than her personality. And that's somehow scarier. The theories snowballed fast, and they didn't stop. Even stylists began weighing in. One fashion blogger called her appearance mature chic with the flavor of subtle dominance. Another creator said she dressed like someone who wasn't proving anything, simply declaring. They highlighted how clean lines will always be chaotic glam, and how owning the room without needing theatrics is the ultimate flex. But of course, No internet storm reaches peak velocity until the comparisons start slicing through culture like knives. They put Karlissa beside Christian's most viral outfits, side-by-side scorecards like it was a fashion boxing match. And the internet, being what it is, got savage. The commentary ranged from humorous to brutal, and the tone made it clear that people believed Karlissa was intentionally demonstrating a contrast, balance versus chaos, composure versus meltdown, refinement versus unfiltered unpredictability. The memes were ruthless and viral. Give her the mic. She's already winning. She walked in like the contract already had her name first. That's not an outfit. That's a power play. There's something eerie about how quiet Karlissa stayed. She didn't post a fashion breakdown. She didn't brag. She didn't drop captions. Silence is gasoline in the influencer era. Other people talk themselves into trouble. She simply stood there and let perception play poker with imagination. And that choice alone turned her into a chess piece the public suddenly couldn't stop watching. When a mother figure goes viral in a room full of spotlight chasers, questions start birthing themselves. Was this a rebrand? A message to critics? A warning to rivals? A symbolic reset button on everything the internet thought it knew about her? Creators speculated that she may have intentionally kept her voice muted so the outfit could speak louder. It's one thing to dress well. It's another to weaponize fashion against narratives that try to drag your name. People also noticed that Blueface seemed noticeably quieter around her. One clip caught him keeping his distance. Another showed him peeking toward her while speaking to someone else. The timelines erupted with sarcasm. Look at his face. That's a man realizing his spotlight got repoed the moment she showed up, another commenter said. His mom ate so hard the DJ should have switched the intro music. Journalists covering the homecoming found themselves shifting angles. Instead of reporting the event like a comeback special, they were suddenly writing think pieces about aesthetic dominance, mother figure magnetism, and what it means when the person who didn't speak a single sentence becomes the most talked about name of the night. Even mainstream pages reposted the footage with captions that read like mini lawyer arguments, and as public chatter swelled, the narrative mutated. Some fans said she was reclaiming dignity after months of messy headlines. Others argued she was rewriting her role in Blueface's narrative. No longer a supporting mention or the mom in the background. No, now she was an undeniable force. A fashionable phoenix rising from comment section ashes. The more people obsessed over the footage, the more it became clear. Karlissa's moment at the homecoming didn't stay inside four walls. It leaked. It spread. It swallowed platforms whole. Her name returned to trending lists. Photos of her fit replaced entertainer recaps. Twitter spaces popped up to debate whether she orchestrated the reaction or simply dressed well and let nature take its course. Whichever side you choose, the result is the same. She won public attention without lifting a finger. Even the skeptics got confused. If they tried to drag her, they accidentally complimented her. If they tried to call her extra, the narrative flipped and made her look iconic. If they tried to dismiss her presence, everyone else doubled down on celebrating it. She became untouchable for the night, drama-proof, meme-proof, criticism-proof. That's the rarest kind of viral moment. Not forced, not rehearsed, not desperate. Natural gravity. The spotlight simply migrated to where confidence stood tall. People didn't want the storyline. The storyline demanded them, and whether it was intentional or cosmic, Karlissa proved something ruthless about public perception. You don't need to shout to steal a stage. You don't need conflict to beat the headlines. You don't even need approval to dominate the conversation. Sometimes you just need to walk into a room dressed like you already knew the spotlight didn't belong to anyone else. Because if the first half of that night showed anything, it was that the narrative had flipped so violently that even Blueface had to accept one painful reality. He may have been the event, but Karlissa was the moment. In the hours that followed, the unraveling became more dramatic than any scripted television scene. It started with the silence, that eerie, heavy silence that floats through social media right before a scandal detonates. Nobody wanted to admit they were waiting for fallout, but the refreshing frenzy of the discourse said otherwise. The public had tasted the moment. examined it under a microscope, argued over symbolism. And now they sat collectively on digital couches waiting for the next domino to fall. The consequence didn't come through an interview or an official statement. It arrived through the shift, the pivot, the undeniable change in how people spoke about Karlissa after that night. She wasn't the polarizing, unpredictable figure the blogs once labeled her as. She wasn't the source of drama or the side character attached to a rapper's messy personal headlines. No, the homecoming transformed her position into something far sharper, cooler, cleaner. Elegance became her armor. Composure became her weapon. Confidence became the plot twist. Fans who once dragged her in comments now typed entire paragraphs defending her. People who swore they didn't like her vibe suddenly declared that she'd been misunderstood all along. The internet revisionism kicked in at full throttle, rewriting her history through the lens of one iconic entrance. Screenshotted outfits, fashion edits, and lyric caption clips turned her into an aspirational figure. The mother who walked in with poise and silence became proof that reinvention doesn't need permission. Even the narratives about Blueface began to warp. Up until the event, the spotlight stood on him, his music, his relationships, his public chaos, his controversies. But after Karlissa's grand entrance, whispers began spreading that maybe the most compelling storyline all along wasn't the rapper, but the woman who raised him. Questions surfaced. Has she been underestimated? Did the internet judge too fast? Was she playing chess while everyone else accused her of breaking rules they invented? The ripple effects were impossible to ignore. Podcast discussions started popping up, analyzing her presence from psychological, cultural, and entertainment angles. Hosts debated whether she intentionally let fashion do the speaking for her, or whether that quiet sophistication was the blueprint she always planned on unveiling. Some argued the elegance was a reclamation after months of public tension. Others claimed it was a warning shot, a message to anyone who underestimated her influence. And every theory, dramatic or subtle, kept her name trending longer. And then, almost poetically, public perception toward Blueface shifted too. Commentators pointed out how calm he appeared in her presence, how the storm that usually clung to his name suddenly melted when she walked through the door. Sarcastic viewers joked that her outfit alone lowered his controversy levels. Others noticed how different he looked the moments he glanced toward her, as if her presence carried a weight he couldn't outperform or ignore. There was a moment caught in one clip, blink canvas flash, where he gave a small nod toward her direction. Not proudful, not dismissive, something in between. And that tiny gesture drove entire conversation threads. Was it acknowledgement, admiration, silent respect? Or was it the uneasy realization that his narrative had been hijacked by someone who didn't even have to open her mouth? Meanwhile, the entire guest crowd had to deal with the aftershocks. People who arrived hoping their outfits would go viral got overshadowed. Stylists who curated statement looks for others got ignored. Attendees who expected to be the faces of the recap articles woke up to headlines about Karlissa instead. Out of nowhere, the mother who walked in as a guest became the cultural headline. And everyone else, rapper included, became supporting cast in a saga they didn't realize was hers to write. And that's when the uncomfortable commentary began creeping in. If Karlissa could dominate a homecoming like that, what would happen if she chose to speak? If silence alone created uproar, imagine the chaos if she actually told her side of any story. The night proved that the woman didn't need conflict to spark controversy. All she required was presence, the right posture, the right styling, the right attitude. No shouting, no preaching, no rants. Just elegance with sharp edges. Aftermath posts rolled through feeds like waves. Respect to Karlissa? That's how you move when you know people are watching. Blueface needs to acknowledge that his mom had the best moment of the night. She cleaned house without even lifting a finger. Every hour. The conversation evolved, and her influence spread wider. The momentum had become unstoppable, and by dawn the recap pages made one fact uncheckable. This homecoming will be remembered less for Blueface's spotlight and more for Karlissa's silent takeover. Some commentators were bold enough to say what others only hinted. Maybe this moment marks a shift in the public hierarchy. Maybe Karlissa has a story bigger than the internet's assumptions. Maybe she's stepping into a new chapter that the homecoming was merely the opening scene for. And as absurd as it sounds, that theory stuck. People don't forget style that looks strategic, elegance that feels like symbolism, quiet entrances that hit like declarations, the consequences stretched into unpredictable corners. Interviews booked her name more frequently. Comment sections begged her to address the outfit, the moment, the symbolism. Some wanted explanations, others demanded myth-shattering truth. But she didn't give them anything. She let the mystery stay. Because the less she spoke, the more they projected. Silence turned into oxygen for curiosity. And curiosity is the most addictive entertainment currency. And that's where the true impact of her entrance crystallized. The homecoming wasn't a moment, it was a shift in narrative power. Blueface may still be the public figure, but Karlissa stands in a different category now. Not a cameo, not an accessory in the background of his story. A force, a presence. A woman who organized her image like a chess strategy and won without confrontation. By the time the event dust settled, the myth around her had grown larger than the night itself. Screenshots remained pinned on feeds. Commentary threads refused to end. Fashion pages praised her styling decisions like case studies. And viewers quietly acknowledged that sometimes the most shocking scandals don't require shouting, chaos, or conflict. Sometimes the scandal is the subtlety, the finesse, the power to walk into a room where no one expected you to dominate and leave people rewriting your legacy in real time. That night created the strangest reversal. Blueface walked away still the headliner on paper. But in the court of public opinion, where aesthetics, energy, symbolism, and subtle dominance rule everything, Karlissa walked away with something bigger than applause. She walked away with a resurrection, a repositioning, a narrative shift she didn't have to beg for or fight through. And the most haunting part of all, nobody actually knows whether she intended any of it. That's why the moment lives on, because the mystery is louder than any explanation. Did she mean to overshadow him? Did she know the internet would fuse fashion with symbolism? Did she plan a silent takeover? Or did she simply show up dressed well and the world read meaning that didn't exist? The aftershock is in the uncertainty, the lingering wonder, the curiosity clawing at everyone who caught even one glimpse, because one unspoken truth can't be erased on that homecoming night. Karlissa didn't only put that shit on, she shifted the spotlight, rewrote the headlines, and walked away as the story the world couldn't stop telling. Now that you've seen how one outfit flipped an entire event on its head, don't even think about tapping away without sounding off below. I want to know everything. Was Karlissa's silent stun move a fashion flex, a psychological takeover, a message to critics? Or did she simply materialize like the calm before a cultural storm? Drop your conspiracies, theories, and wild takes in the comments, because this whole situation has more layers than a Kris Jenner NDA. And listen, if you stayed locked in all the way here, you already know how it goes. Scandals don't walk into this channel, they detonate. So smash that like button like it owes you money. Slap the subscribe with the same energy Karlissa used to shut down the room. And ring that notification bell like you're warning the internet another bombshell is leaking. Around here, secrets don't sleep. Headlines don't rest. And if the celebrities aren't spiraling, we'll dig until they do not turn on alerts so you don't miss the next meltdown, uncovering, expose reveal, or social earthquake that shakes the culture awake. Because just when you think the drama is done, trust me, that's when someone pops up dressed too confidently, too quietly, and too dangerously for the world not to talk. And before you go, remember this, the internet never forgets. Receipts age like fine wine, and reputations flip faster than these stars can refresh their stories. What happened at Blueface's homecoming wasn't just a fashion moment, it was a narrative shift. And here, we breathe those. Stay loud in the comments, stay wild in the threads, and stay ready for the next scandal drop. Fame flaws. scandal drop. Fame flaws.